The hearing room buzzed with tension as Jasmine Crockett sat poised, her calm exterior masking the storm beneath. Jim Jordan's interruptions weren't just rude, they were calculated, designed to drown her out. Each time she leaned into the mic, his voice boomed louder, his words twisting facts into fiction. The chairman's silence was complicity, the room's indifference a mirror of systemic bias. Crockett's fingers brushed her binder, its contents a shield against the onslaught. She wouldn't shout, she'd outlast. Jordan's smirk widened as he misquoted statutes, his confidence unshaken by truth. The Hatch Act became a prop in his performance, stripped of context to fit his narrative. Crockett's jaw tightened, but she remained still, her gaze sharp as a blade. She'd seen this before, men who mistook volume for victory. The room's marble walls seemed to lean in, amplifying his voice while hers was relegated to whispers. Yet she waited, timing her rebuttal like a chess move. The chairman's gavel tapped half-heartedly, a feeble attempt at order. Jordan bulldozed through Crockett's points, his interruptions punctuated by theatrics, waved papers, exaggerated sighs. She inhaled slowly, her patience a silent revolt. Behind her, aides exchanged glances, some pitied, others reveled in the spectacle. Crockett's nails pressed into her palm, grounding her. This wasn't debate, it was erasure. But she knew, the louder he roared, the clearer her truth would cut when it finally broke free. A memory flashed, her law professor's condescension, passion isn't precedent. She'd fired back, respect isn't silence. The class laughed, the professor seethed. Now, years later, the script hadn't changed. Jordan's bluster was just another classroom, another man mistaking authority for wisdom. Crockett's lips curved faintly. Let him talk, let him exhaust himself. Her turn would come, and with it, the weight of precedent, real precedent, not the hollow kind he peddled. The cameras zoomed in, hungry for conflict. Jordan leaned into the mic, veins bulging as he name-dropped agencies, mangling their mandates. Crockett's binder lay open, its tabs a rainbow of order against his chaos. She marked each misstep mentally, a prosecutor building a case. The room's temperature rose, but her voice, when she finally spoke, was ice. With respect, Congressman, he cut her off again. The chairman yawned. The cycle repeated, a ritual as old as the Capitol itself. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, a colleague's text, "They're baiting you." She knew. Outbursts became headlines, calm precision became footnotes. Jordan's interruptions weren't mistakes, they were traps. Crockett exhaled, her resolve hardening. She'd play the long game. Let the clips show him red-faced, her composed. Let the transcripts prove who respected the law. The gavel tapped again. Jordan smirked, mistaking her silence for surrender. But Crockett was counting. Each interruption, each breach. The reckoning would be arithmetic. The air thickened with unspoken slights. Jordan's aide passed him a note. He scoffed, crumpling it. Crockett's assistant, unseen, tightened their grip on a pen. The asymmetry was stark. His team buoyed him, hers could only watch. Yet her stillness radiated power. She didn't need theatrics. The law was her ally, and it didn't flinch. Jordan cited a blog like gospel. Crockett's fingers found the relevant case law in her binder. She'd wield it, not as a weapon, but as a mirror. A reporter in the back whispered, "She's too quiet." Another replied, "Or they're too loud." Crockett caught the exchange, her eyes flickering with something like amusement. Let them misunderstand. Let them assume quiet meant weak. History wasn't written by the loudest, it was written by the relentless. She adjusted her mic, the movement deliberate. Jordan paused mid-rant, sensing shift. For the first time, doubt flickered behind his bluster. Crockett smiled. Now, asterisk. The chairman, startled, finally met her gaze as she spoke. Per House Rule 11, members must yield for clarifications. Her voice was steel wrapped in silk. Jordan opened his mouth, but the rulebook stared back. The room froze. Crockett continued, citing precedent, her words surgical. No raised pitch, no flailing hands. Just truth, methodical and unassailable. Jordan's face darkened. The chairman fumbled the gavel. The aides, pens hovered. For 6 minutes, she'd been cut off. In 6 seconds, she reclaimed the room. Jordan tried to interject. Asterisk, that's not the issue. Asterisk. Crockett didn't blink. The issue is accuracy, Congressman. She quoted the OSC's actual asterisk 2022 memo, verbatim. The contrast was brutal, his bluster, her precision. The reporters leaned forward. A GOP aide muttered, "Shit." Crockett's cadence never wavered. She wasn't debating, she was correcting. The law, it turned out, didn't care about volume. It cared about facts. And facts, once spoken, couldn't be unheard. The silence that followed was electric. Jordan's mouth worked soundlessly. The chairman, trapped by procedure, nodded stiffly. Crockett didn't gloat. She simply closed her binder, the click echoing like a verdict. The cameras caught it all, her poise, his deflation. A junior congresswoman across the aisle hid a smile. The hearing lumbered on, but the dynamic had shifted. Crockett's 6-minute eclipse was over. The sun, it seemed, had been there all along. Later, in the hallway, Jordan stormed past, aides scrambling behind. Crockett accepted a water bottle from her assistant, her hands steady. "They'll edit the clips," the assistant warned. She shrugged. Let them. The transcripts wouldn't lie. The rules, when finally enforced, had favored her. A staffer from another office approached, eyes wide. "How'd you stay so calm?" Crockett took a sip. "Practice." The word hung in the air, a lifetime of it, sharpening in silence. The elevator doors closed, sealing her in temporary quiet. Her reflection stared back, suit impeccable, posture unbroken. The hearing had been a microcosm, a fractal of every battle she'd fought. Men like Jordan thought dominance was volume. Crockett knew better. Dominance was endurance. Her phone buzzed again, headlines already spinning. She swiped them away. The real story wasn't the spectacle. It was the system that made it necessary. And systems, she knew, could be changed. Back in her office, she kicked off her heels, wincing at the ache. The binder thumped onto her desk, its weight a comfort. Outside, dusk painted the Capitol in gold. 6 minutes of interruptions, 11 breaches of decorum, countless lifetimes of women swallowing their words. Crockett rolled her shoulders, the tension finally easing. Today was one hearing. Tomorrow would be another. And she'd be ready, not with shouts, but with the quiet, unyielding force of precedent. Her assistant lingered in the doorway. "You okay?" Crockett nodded, flipping open the binder again. "Just starting." The pages rustled, filled with margins notes in her tight script. Jordan's tactics weren't new, but neither were her strategies. She circled a statute, underlining it twice. The law was her language, and she'd spoken it fluently today. But fluency wasn't enough. Mastery was, and mastery demanded more than one hearing. It demanded every hearing. The TV in the corner played the clip on loop, Jordan red-faced, Crockett calm. Pundits debated tone over substance asterisk. She muted it, let them chatter. The work wasn't in the highlights, it was in the grind. Her father's voice echoed. Bring a book. She had. And tomorrow, she'd bring another. The phone rang, a reporter. She let it go to voicemail. Some truths didn't need amplification. They just needed to be said. And she'd said hers. Night settled over D.C., the Capitol's dome glowing against the dark. Crockett stood at the window, her reflection layered over the city. 11 interruptions, 6 minutes, one truth, louder than all of them. She'd survived the silence. Now, she'd redefine it. The binder waited, its pages a promise. The law was hers. The floor would be too. And next time, they wouldn't just hear her. They'd listen. The coffee in her mug had gone cold. She drank it anyway, the bitterness a familiar companion. Tomorrow's hearing would be different. Not because they'd changed, but because she had. Every interruption had been a lesson. Every silence, a choice. Crockett set the mug down, the sound final. The clock ticked toward midnight. She had work to do. And this time, no one would cut her off. Her laptop hummed, the screen filled with legal briefs. A notification popped up, a tweet calling her, too aggressive. She snorted. Aggressive was Jordan's interruptions. She'd been exact. The distinction mattered. Crockett bookmarked a case file, her movements precise. The digital paper trail wouldn't lie. Neither would she. Let them spin. She'd outwork them, outlast them. The law didn't care about spin. It cared about justice. The city slept. Crockett didn't. Her desk lamp cast long shadows, the binder's tabs glowing like beacons. 6 minutes, 11 interruptions, countless women before her, silenced. She wouldn't be one of them. The law was her weapon, her shield, her voice. And tomorrow, she'd use it again. Louder, sharper, uninterrupted. The night stretched on, but she wasn't tired. She was ready. Dawn crept in, pale and tentative. Crockett straightened her suit, the fabric crisp. The hearing room would be the same. The players, the same. But she wasn't. The binder tucked under her arm, she stepped into the hallway. Footsteps echoed. Aides, reporters, opponents. Let them come. She knew the rules now. Knew the game. And this time, she'd write the ending. The elevator descended, her reflection unwavering. 6 minutes, 11 interruptions, a lifetime of preparation. The doors opened. The Capitol awaited. Crockett stepped forward, her heels clicking like a metronome. The hearing would begin soon. And so would she. Not with a shout, not with a plea, with the law, and this time, they'd let her speak. The hearing room doors loomed. Inside, Jordan was already preening for cameras. Crockett paused, adjusting her lapel pin, a tiny, defiant star. The chairman glanced up, wary. She met his gaze, unblinking. The gavel would fall, the mic would open, and this time, she wouldn't just survive the silence. She'd shatter it. The clerk called her name. Crockett stepped forward, the binder heavy in her hands. Jordan smirked. She didn't. The mic clicked on. The room held its breath. "Thank you, Mr. Chairman." Her voice, steady as a heartbeat. The law, clear as daylight. And this time, no one dared interrupt. The words flowed, precise, unbroken. Jordan fidgeted. The chairman sat straighter. The cameras zoomed in. Crockett didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. The truth, it turned out, was loud enough. And for the first time in 6 minutes, in 11 interruptions, in a lifetime of being talked over, the room was silent, listening. At last.